Yo yo, it's Gold Spirit PC here in my first video where I speak on this channel. Amazing. I know I sound young and stupid and my microphone is also terrible because I don't actually have a mic, just my computer, but just ignore that and listen to what I have to say, okay? Oh, also my voice is kind of being crappy today. Have a fun time listening to my crackly voice. Now, this video is about my advice on OCs and stuff like that. Let's start off with quote-unquote originality. Wow. No character will ever be completely original. I know, this is surprising, ain't it? Boom. But you know what? It's true. I know this pretty well. I make tons of OCs that are literally objects. Like, inanimate objects. I don't think that they will ever be completely original, to be honest. Humans don't live in a void, or at least they shouldn't. We have interests, influences, and many other things that inspire us outside of our own mind. The true thing that people are trying to get across with Make Your OC Original is that you shouldn't steal other people's OCs or steal people's ideas. Because that would be plagiarism. Now, I have an amazing example of not exactly original, but still original enough to be a separate thing from what it was based off of. The foreign were partially based off of a contest entry I made when my art was still evolving rapidly. The contest was to draw your OC, but using this AU thing someone else over on Object Shows Amino made. I can't remember their name currently. Now, this is an edgy AU. Basically, you drew your OC, but in a broken state, melting bits, broken parts, etc. I submitted my entry, and then I had this idea when I was going to bed one night. This is when the foreign were created. I can't speak, sorry. The foreign were created, though at the time I had no name for them. They were fairly similar, but with some big differences. They were, and are, to be used in my little comic world of exanimate elimination, but they never came from a different universe, and instead of them being an object there, they morph into one. Their only intent is to derive joy from pain. I know I'm edgy. Two different things, but still somewhat similar. Another thing about OCs and stuff is the topic of fan OCs, you know, like Bendy and the Ink Machine OCs and stuff. I know this seems very connected to originality, but I swear it's mostly different. Please listen to me. Some people may say, oh, don't that make your OCs interact with canon characters, 11 exclamation point 1. But the thing is, don't you want to be creative with your stuff? If so, try having them interact with canon characters. What would happen? You just might learn something about your OC's compatibility with others, or you might even learn how to better your own OCs just from that thought experiment. Creativity is just fine. Let people do what they wish as long as it isn't straight up stealing or just plain boring, because then literally no one cares. I don't know if I explained that well, but whatever. On to the next point. Third, cliche 2D characters that could practically be cardboard cutouts and no one would even notice the difference. These kinds of characters are boring for everyone, and they can make your creativity process go stale. Trust me, I know. It's always good to challenge your limits when making characters, and not to mention with many other things too. So do try. Take, for example, my OC Hot Chocolate. He may seem like just your average run-of-the-mill Washington stereotype at first. However, he has a compassionate heart made of melted marshmallows, I'd assume. I'm funny. He also loves to give out philosophical advice to lift people out of the slumps, and has a major in philosophy, even. The only thing is that he just appears to be just another stale hipster on the outside. I'd recommend researching good three-dimensional characters that maybe shouldn't be my OCs just to be safe, because, you know, I might not make the best OCs. You honestly can learn a lot from well-constructed characters, and you'll find that if you do research on good characters, you'll start making good three-dimensional characters yourself. But hopefully ones that aren't plagiarized. That would be bad. I've saved the most controversial thing for last, the edgy OC. They're okay to make, but you must do them right. You might be thinking, but gold? Aren't edgy OCs the scum of the earth? Should be terminated with a heavy-duty flamethrower that destroys all life within a 50-foot radius? Now, I can't blame you for thinking that. Many people have created terrible OCs that are way too edgy. Like, I mean, way. What is this Asanic OC? That I don't even know anymore. However, if you can find a good balance between edgy and actually good, you've got something special. If you have an OC that would be considered edgy, please, please, please let them have at least a decent backstory. Oh, so and so's parents died, and now so and so is a psychopath, even though that's the wrong term. Even though they're a rebel and hated their parents, isn't gonna cut it. If you want a parents died backstory, please, oh god, please let them not be a rebel. They need to actually have a strong attachment to their parents if their death is the reason why they're edgy. It can't be just, rebel and parents dies, excuse my verbal regurgitation. Now, if you've got a character that's pushed to the brink and loses all their friends, definitely not one of my OCs, then that's a perfectly good reason for the character to shut off to the world around them. No one's gonna stay happy after losing friends and being pushed to the brink. If they did, they'd be a Mary Sue or Gary Stu. It's always good to have a dabble of edge in your characters if the need calls. Now, I hope you don't take all my salt at face value. I just want you to consider these. If what I said was good advice, great, I did a thing, yeet. If my advice is bad, then please do tell others what they really should do in the comments. I'd hate to leave people hanging in the dark with bad advice. Oh, also, final note. In my opinion, over diversity is not a thing. People can have characters that are as wide of a variety as they want. Just make sure not to SJW style them, okay? Thank you. Goodbye, all y'all.